Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers, and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Hope you're having an incredible holiday season wherever you are. Whether you're opening presents, spending time with family, or just taking a break from the everyday grind, this is the perfect time to think about what we want to see from our team heading into the new year. And let me tell you, there's a lot to be excited about, but there's also some business that still needs to get done if the Blue Jays want to make another serious run in 2026. We've already seen some significant moves this offseason. The front office has been active, they've been aggressive, and they've shown they're committed to keeping this championship window wide open. But as we sit here during the holidays, there are still a few things on the wish list that could take this team from great to absolutely unstoppable. So let's break down what needs to happen over the next few weeks to make sure we're starting the new year on the right foot. First thing on my wish list, and I think a lot of you feel the same way, is bringing Bo Bichette back. This guy has been the heartbeat of this team for years, and the idea of him wearing a different uniform next season just doesn't sit right. Bo wants to play shortstop. That's his position. That's where he feels most comfortable, and honestly, that's where he's been elite. The problem is there's been talk about marketing him as a second baseman to other teams, which tells me the front office might be testing the waters to see what his market looks like. But here's the thing. If Bo truly wants to stay at shortstop, Toronto is one of the best places for him to do that. We have the flexibility in our infield to keep him there, especially if we make a couple other moves. And let's be real, Bo has been clutch for us in the postseason. He's shown up in big moments. He's been a leader in that clubhouse, and he deserves to be part of whatever comes next. Losing him would hurt, not just on the field, but emotionally for the fan base. So if the Blue Jays can find a way to make the numbers work and keep him in Toronto, that's the first gift I want to see wrapped up and delivered. Next up, Kyle Tucker. This is the big one. If the Blue Jays can pull off a trade or whatever it takes to get Tucker in a Toronto uniform, it changes everything. Tucker is exactly the kind of player you need when you're trying to win a championship. He's a complete offensive threat. He plays excellent defense, and he brings that veteran presence that elevates everyone around him. Think about what George Springer has meant to this team over the years. Now imagine having that same level of production locked in for the foreseeable future. That's what Tucker represents. George is getting older, and while he's still going to be valuable as a DH and spot outfielder, we need to think about the future. Tucker gives us that bridge. He gives us continuity in the outfield. He gives us another bat that pitchers have to game plan around, and he gives us the kind of player that sells tickets and gets fans excited. If you want butts in the seats, if you want energy in the building, Kyle Tucker is the guy who delivers that. The cost might be high, but this is the time to go for it. You don't get championship windows like this very often, and when you do, you have to maximize them. Now, here's where it gets interesting. If we do land Tucker, we suddenly have an embarrassment of riches in the outfield. You've got Nathan Lukes, you've got Dalton Varsho, you've got guys like Jonathan Clays waiting in the wings, and even Miles Straw, who brings speed and defense off the bench. That's a lot of talent competing for playing time. And while depth is great, at some point you have to make decisions. Trading one of those outfielders could be the way to address other needs on the roster. And honestly, as much as I love watching all these guys play, if moving one of them helps us upgrade somewhere else, you have to consider it. The pitching staff is in great shape. You know, the rotation is locked in, the bullpen has pieces, but there's one area where we could really put this thing over the top, closer. Right now, we're relying on guys to step into that ninth inning role, and while there's talent there, having a true lockdown closer makes a massive difference in tight games. Somebody you can trust completely when it's a one-run game in the ninth and you need 3 outs. Here's a wild idea. There's noise coming out of San Diego that Mason Miller might actually be available. The Padres are going through some weird roster maneuvering, and if they're willing to move him, the Blue Jays should be all over that. Imagine putting Miller and Jeff Hoffman together at the back end of the bullpen. You'd have a two-headed monster that opposing lineups would absolutely dread facing. Add in a healthy Jimmy Garcia coming back, and suddenly you've got one of the deepest, most intimidating bullpens in baseball. That's the kind of upgrade that wins you playoff series. And speaking of health, that's the final thing on my holiday wish list. Stay healthy. We saw what happened down the stretch and into the postseason last year when injuries started piling up. This team was so close to winning it all, and if we had a fully healthy roster throughout the World Series, who knows what would have happened. Baseball is unpredictable, and sometimes it comes down to bounces, breaks, and just a little bit of luck. But you can control preparation, you can control conditioning, and you can put yourself in the best possible position to avoid the injury bug. If Bo Bichette had been healthy for the entire postseason, if every piece of this roster had been firing on all cylinders, we might be talking about a championship parade right now instead of what comes next. That's how close it was. We're talking about a few plays here and there, a couple different outcomes, and the Blue Jays bring home a World Series trophy. That should tell you everything you need to know about where this team is at. They're right there. They're knocking on the door. And with a few smart moves this offseason, they can kick that door wide open. So as we head into the new year, as we start getting closer to spring training, these are the things I'm watching. Bo Bichette's contract situation, the pursuit of Kyle Tucker, potential bullpen upgrades, and making sure this roster stays as healthy as possible for the long haul. The Blue Jays have already done a lot this offseason to position themselves as contenders, but there's still work to be done. The difference between good and great often comes down to those final few moves, the ones that fill the last remaining holes and turn a solid roster into a complete one. It's championship or bust this year. That's the reality of where this team is at, and honestly, that's exactly where you want to be. You don't build rosters like this to finish second. You don't invest the way Toronto has invested to just make the playoffs and hope for the best. You go all in, you load up with talent, and you give yourself every possible advantage. The pieces are mostly in place, the foundation is strong, and now it's about finishing the job. I hope you all had an amazing holiday, whatever you're celebrating, and I hope you got some great gifts. But the best gift Blue Jays fans could receive right now is watching this front office continue to be aggressive, continue to make the moves that put this team in position to win it all. We're going to be talking baseball every single day, breaking down every rumor, every signing, every trade possibility. This is the most exciting time to be a Blue Jays fan, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out. Stay tuned, stay excited, and let's hope the new year brings us everything we're hoping for. Enjoy the rest of your holidays, and we'll see you back here real soon.